According to official statistics, Russian citizens continue to buy cars. For example, almost 100,000 new cars were sold in July, which is 168% more than in the same month last year. But if you read a little further than the headlines, it turns out that a third of the cars sold are domestic flats, and even more than 40% are Chinese cars. The quality of Russian cars can be judged at least by how often their exhibition models do not start in various events, and cars made in China are still far from the quality of Western foreign cars, despite the fact that the price for them has already caught up.
Let's just say that they are better than they were there 10 years ago in Chinese auto industry. It is also developing compared to what it was before. But when compared with the European counterpart, of course, they will be of lower quality. They will be less reliable. Well, in many other things, they will be inferior to the quality that even used cars from Europe or America have.
Most Western cars came to Russia through the so-called grey imports, due to the fact that Western companies stopped selling cars to Russia at the beginning of a full-scale invasion. They were transported through third countries. Georgia has been one of the main such hubs, bringing in $2 billion to the country's budget since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion against Ukraine. At the same time, the volume of the entire economy of Georgia is $30 billion. But from the 2nd of August, the channel was completely blocked. Tbilisi stated that the decision was made within the framework of the 11th EU sanctions package. But with Japan the situation is different. Tokyo previously introduced restrictions on the export of premium cars, and at the end of July it expanded them. Russian Far Eastern retailers responded by posting this video.
We'll still find how to drive cars from Japan.
But in reality, Japan's decision will force Russian sellers to completely change their supply chains and reorient themselves towards models from China or Korea. At the same time, the imposed sanctions had another unexpected effect. The logistics of car deliveries across Russia broke down.
Recently, the cost of car carriers has risen. Previously, they went to Irkutsk from the Far East and left their cars there. And when the sanctions were introduced, the salons died down. And it makes no sense for carriers from the west to go to Irkutsk empty. The price tags doubled. Of course, no one supported them at such prices. And it turned out that in Irkutsk a huge number of cars just got stuck. They brought them there and there was no one to carry them further. Maxim, representative of the Russian auto retailer, in a comment to Novaya Gazeta.
As a result, prices for Western foreign cars will continue to grow. It is noteworthy that recently Putin announced the need to transfer officials to domestic cars. Literally, with the same populist slogan, he came out twice already during his reign. Just like this time, shortly before the elections. But the officials found a way to refuse Putin, referring to the fact that their foreign cars were assembled in Russia.
I already drive in the domestic industry car. Now I have a Kaluga Volkswagen Tiguan, and before that I had a Mitsubishi Outlander, also made in Russia. Anton Alekhanov, governor of the Kaliningrad region.
According to State Duma Deputy Fedorov, Russian cars simply do not suit officials in terms of status. In his opinion, for the heads of regions and managers, they should begin to produce a modern Volga, or at least, quote, raise the class of Moskvich. Reported by Roman Smoler, Danilo Kobza, UATV News.